the question I asked, and I had to ask myself this, which is, when you think of loyalty, do you think that you sacrifice things for your family? Because everything about this place, money, culture, work-life balance, the toxic, like everything about it does not serve you well. This is bad. Like this situation is bad. This place is bad. And so based on the information that you've given me, it doesn't seem like it's serving you or your family. So my question is, because I don't think people kind of could make this connection. Loyal to who? Welcome to Lead Like a Girl, where we are empowering everyday women through our stories. I'm your host, Jessica Smith, and I began this journey by sharing my life story. Now, I've joined forces with my longtime friends, Jamie and Corlin, to keep this party going. We met many years ago as young sales girls in our 20s, driven and quickly rising to the top of our industry. As the years went on, life happened, and we all found ourselves in new companies and completely different industries, still striving for success in it all. Career, family, faith, fun. Now, it wasn't easy, but we never stopped moving. Get ready for our real conversations, inspiring stories, and our big life lessons as we share it all. The good, the bad, and the funny. Welcome to Lead Like a Girl.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's get into another, what, Jamie? I said, let's get into another episode of Lead Like a Girl. Now go.
I was just going to say.
Do we need an official opening, or what do we do? We're just going to hop into it. Just, this is where our week is at. It's just completely discombobulated.
No, I'm going to say. Okay, you say.
I was going to ask you where you're going. You said you had that talk. Where is it?
Oh, I am going to, where am I going?
Straight to Crazy Land.
Exactly.
On a crazy train.
I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what I'm doing. I am going to Austin, Women in Automotive Conference in Austin, Texas, next month. Yes.
I want to go to Austin so bad.
What? That's what Will said. What he literally said those again.
It's like the next Nashville. Music. Like, yeah, I want to go there for music. Yeah. It's supposed to be like the next, like, best thing. If you've been to Nashville,
I'm going to be there. So if I think it's July. I don't know. I'll send you the dates if you want to see if there's a concert there or something. But
you know where I'm going in July? Illinois.
Well, I'll be there next weekend. So yeah, there's that. I'll be there. I'll be there this coming up weekend. So a week from today. I'll be there Thursday, actually. So let's get into this conversation because I have a question. So if your company eliminated your position tomorrow, would they be taking your job or would they be taking your identity? That's the question that just screams in my head because lately I have been hearing a theme. And this is why I want to talk about this because it's very timely. It's been driving me crazy. You guys know I talk to a lot of people and somehow I just find myself in these same conversations from professionals over 40 that it really does break my heart because these are talented senior leaders, successful people with decades of experience, yet many of them are waking up every day and they're going to jobs that they hate, working for leaders they don't respect, staying in environments that are draining their life, that are toxic, that are just bad. And not because some of them, not because they can't leave, it's because they don't know like who they are. This is my opinion. This is not what they're saying. It's like they don't know who they are without the job. And in today's market, the job market is to shit right now. So I think it's this fear that is like, what do I do? What do I do? So I'm asking you guys, what if that happened to you tomorrow? Like, what would you do?
My first comment is nobody ever cancels a good salesperson's job.
Well,
so I would say, what am I doing wrong? I would almost like
I think we started a fight, Jamie.
Oh, you started a fight right there because
here we go.
That is exactly what I heard over and over again when I was in that situation.
Yeah. So I was in I worked for a company where essentially they took their entire corporate office and they sort of redistributed everything. Like they put all the production to Mexico, and then they put all the salespeople remote, and essentially eliminated everything else. And I remember the president's administrative assistant calling me and saying, like, I don't want to worry you, but here's what's happening. And I told her, nobody fires a good salesperson. Salespeople run the world. That's the reason your company makes money. I'm not going to, nothing's going to happen to me. And unfortunately, they all literally got fired. I was the only salesperson that was left. So I do truly believe that if you've got the skills, this is coming from my sales background, of course. If you can sell the product, it doesn't matter what the product is. If you're a good salesperson, you're going to be fine. I was the only one who was left probably a year in of all the salespeople working from home. So I do truly believe that. But I think that there's a lot of other positions that are, administrative assistants, there's sales assistants, there's management that they think they can get rid of.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean they're going to continue on being successful either. Like I think that the general concept is, as long as I have someone selling the product and as long as I have someone producing the product, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah. So here's the world that we live in, and it's okay because only one of us can be right here. This is the world that we live in.
Is it you?
Which one is that, or is that
Which
TBD?
one is it? Which person is it?
And the reason I say that, Jamie, is because I was in that situation over and over again, what you just said. Like Emery was gone and I was left there until I was then part of the gone. And my numbers were up and I know who I am and I know that I'm a good leader and all of that good stuff. So got to be careful because what I ran into after that and what I believe made it hard for me to find a new role is because of that thinking there, that assumption for people. And what I'm saying is the world is changing and that thought process is 20 years old.
Are you saying that because she thinks that, or because people think that they're not replaceable?
No, I'm saying that the thought process is how good are you really? Because if you were, you would still be there if in this sales org because they don't get rid of good salespeople. That thought process made it difficult for people like me when someone's looking at my resume or looking to hire me and they're like, well, if you're so great, why did they let you go? You're a salesperson.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's old school. That's old school. There's so many other reasons in today's sales world that you would still be let go. But that is kind of a different topic. I'm going to go back to where it really what I'm talking about is the people who actually stay. And the comment that my recent conversation when I just asked this guy, I'm like, why are you still here? Like 25 years. This guy got promoted 8 years ago to his leadership position, and he hasn't gotten one raise since then. I'm talking not even a merit, not a cost of living, not anything.
Did he ask for one?
And he hits his numbers, and it's just, again, to me, it's just a bad place. And the theme here is, why are people in this age group, why are people staying? So when I asked him, his answer was, I don't know, I guess I just have this sixth sense of loyalty. Mm-hmm. So what is that? Like, what is that? Can you guys relate to that? Or like, I call BS. He's just like, I just have the sixth. Oh, and then he said, I care about my team. He's like, the culture of the company may not be the best, but I create my own culture and I care about my team. I care about my customers. I believe in the product. He gave me all these reasons why he's still there. Is that loyalty? That's my question. Is that loyalty? What is that?
I would almost want to put that back on you, Jess, because when you were with the company for so long, you probably, I mean, wasn't that your dream to like stay with the company? And like now that you're away, do you think that the culture is different or the loyalty is different where you're at now?
So when it comes to direct buy, there was an end goal. If someone asked me, and listen, we know that there was a lot about that culture that was great and a lot about it that was not so great. And work-life balance and all that good stuff was the not so great part. But I didn't have anything else to compare it to. So that's the first thing I'll say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I was there for a very specific reason. And I was there to own the company. I was working towards this is not just about me. This is about generations after me. I thought that was going to be how my family was going to acquire generational wealth. That's why I was there. So it's different. This guy's never going to own the company. He doesn't aspire to own the company. But when someone says to you, and again, I'm asking, can you relate, or have you heard of this? That I just have this sixth sense of loyalty. That's why I'm still here. I'm loyal to my team, my customers. I believe in the product, and that's why I'm still here. Despite what I'm saying is that this place isn't good for you. And that was my advice to him, is that this place isn't good for you. Like, dude, you got so much talent. You're great. Why are you still here? And his answer, I call BS on. What do you guys think?
I think it could be a both and. I also feel that it depends on what his end goals are. And I've learned this over time with other people, that I feel like I get frustrated because I can see a clear end on where somebody could bring their life out of something better than where they're at. But what I realized is that my goals aren't their goals. And so there probably is many different questions you could ask your friend. And one of them being is, what is his long-term goal? And if it's obviously, it's probably making money of some sort, but it's probably a both and with something else. Maybe he gets really validated by helping his team grow. Maybe he's super connected with the people that he's building up. Maybe he's got a mentoring relationship with other people. I mean, there could be any number of things in addition to the financial piece of the job.
Yeah. So when you think back to the jobs that you have, can you think back of a job that you think you stayed too long, and why did you stay?
The company, for sure.
Okay.
For me,
Okay.
100%. It was, I mean, that company was on a downward spiral for a couple years, and it was, one, I would say it was loyal, two, comfortable. The pain of going someplace else was that unknown. And I was young also, like, or younger, but it wasn't until the pain of staying was greater than the pain of moving.
Ah, there it is. That's what I want. But see, here's the question I asked, and I had to ask myself this, which is, when you think of loyalty, and this kind of got him, because I said to him, so do you think that you sacrifice things for your family? Because everything about this place, money, culture, work-life balance, the toxic, like everything about it does not serve you well. So my question to you is,
Per him or per you?
no, I'm just this started because this person is coming to me saying, "Hey, this is bad. Like this situation is bad. This place is bad. I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Why are you still there?" Well, like, why are you still there, right? And so, based on the information that you've given me, it doesn't seem like it's serving you or your family. So my question is, because I don't think people kind of could make this connection. Loyal to who? So you're loyal to all of these things. That loyalty is more important than the loyalty to your family. Because when you think about it, your family is the one that is really like hurting, not just you. Sometimes we think like, oh, I can just fight through the pain and I'm there. But what about your family? You got a whole wife, you got kids, what about your family? Mm-hmm. So, but what you just said, I think is important, which is, what did you say? You now it's losing me. You said
the pain
yes.
of staying needs to be greater than the pain of leaving.
Yep. So I think that is really what it boils down to, is really understanding what that is. And so I think that the conversations that I had, and again, these are majority with leaders, at either senior manager or director level. They've been with the company for many years. A lot of them have 20 plus years in a certain industry or sales or, some sort of leadership. They have impressive resumes. They're financially stable, but I think they could be doing better. And what I hear often is the job market is really hard out there right now for someone our age over 45. What do you guys think about that? So they're saying that they're staying because the job market is so brutal, they don't even want to get in it.
And that coupled with the fact that they probably haven't been in the job market for a long time. So a lot of what they're basing that off on is hearsay. And
Yeah.
then take that a step further is that a lot of people don't brag when things are easy, right? They brag or they complain about when things are hard. So you're probably going to hear that rule of, you'll probably hear 14 complaints versus the one, oh, I just found another job. That stacking of negativity when you actually probably haven't even put your foot in the market. You're just basing the job market is hard based on maybe what you've read or heard, not necessarily personally experienced.
Yeah. Jamie, what do you think? Because I think that you've had some experience with jumping out there. I think yours is a little different only because recruiters come after you. I must be doing something wrong because that doesn't happen to me a lot. So but I'm
I
just
was gonna say I've read recently that the job market right now is in a state where people are asking recruiters to find them a job. Whereas in the past, the recruiter's just like constantly calling you, like just, okay, I've got this recruiter. He's got, he or she has these 3 different positions available, and can you interview? And I told you guys, I just had an interview this morning because I was like, well, let's see what they say. But it came up yesterday. It's just nuts. But I think that it is swapping. It's not where you're sitting around putting out a good resume on LinkedIn and getting recruiters after you. I think now, from what I've read anyway, a lot of people are actively pursuing the recruiter and saying, okay, here's what I want, find it for me. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, like you said, Corlin, the pain has to be worse to leave than stay or leave or whatever that
or
quote was.
Means that don't be there.
Whatever it is. But I do think that it is so different for high level, right? So if you're looking for the $75,000 a year salary job, you're probably going to have a plethora of things to choose from. If you're looking at the $250,000 job, that's going to take you a little bit longer. Like, I was talking with someone literally today, about hiring inside versus outside. So taking someone who's inside and promoting them because they know the industry versus finding that super dynamic CEO type from outside and bringing them in.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wrote it down, you guys. It was, what did they say? Sorry, I want to make sure I get this right. They're like, it's the difference between like being a student of the environment or making a splash.
I like that.
Which I really like that. It's so I don't know if I answered that exactly right, but I do think that the market right now, when you're looking at that high level, if the recruiter knows exactly what you want, great. But I think there are a lot of people who are not sitting around waiting for someone to contact them and or waiting for the next opportunity and or trying to get promoted. A lot of people are comfortable because they don't want to lose their job. And a lot of people are actually, if they want to move, they're the ones making the initiative to contact that recruiter and or getting out there on Indeed or whatever it is and trying to figure out what else is out there for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I want to, this episode is really about people that may be in this situation. And I just want to encourage them. I think the first takeaway is really what Corlin just said earlier, which is like, what is your goal? What is the end goal? And, for me, I like to ask people, is what was serving you 10, 15 years ago, is it still serving you today? And what I mean by serving you is it serving your mental health? Is it bringing you joy? What are you gaining from it other than you can just say, I'm going to get that direct deposit in and, I'm happy for that. What's your family gaining or losing from this relationship? And you gotta, for me, it's looking at that, whether it's yearly or you have to have those stops where you say, well, maybe it was serving me 10 years ago and today it's not. And I really want to just encourage people to have those stops and really ask yourself those questions. And then if the question is because, I hear these stories all the time. I've worked here. This is what I hear. I worked here so long. I've just, I'm too old to start all over again. I missed my chance. No one would pay me what I make now. I don't know who planted that lie for people, especially if you're at a place where you haven't got the damn raise in 10 years, to think no one will pay me what I make now. Or, I'm just grateful. That's okay. I'm grateful for my job too, but don't be so grateful that you don't think that you deserve better than just a paycheck. But meanwhile, you're physically exhausted, you're emotionally drained, you're spiritually disconnected, like all of these things. And like that's how you know it's not actually serving you anymore. So what do we do? Like, what's that? If you've identified that, you really have to undo those beliefs, that fixed mindset, right? That's that we love talking about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. This is exactly a perfect example of that. And as leaders, we teach that, but are we doing that ourselves? What do you guys think? Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. That could be a whole nother topic, but I think it goes here, right?
Yeah. As you're talking, the thing that came to me is maybe not fix versus growth, but it's also where fear comes into play. It comes out as I have a responsibility. I have a duty to keep my job, a duty to the people that hired me. I have tasks that I own. And even though maybe other people can do that, it comes out as like I have this responsibility and this loyalty here, but really internally, you're scared to make the move to the other side of the room.
I think that's
And
it too.
so maybe just unpacking that personally for your friend and whoever else might be sitting there. Like, again, we've talked about this a lot, but really nailing in and driving down, like, what is it I'm actually feeling? And it could be loyalty, but it could be something deeper.
Well, and it could be ease, right? So if you've been at the same position for a long time and it's just, not to say that it's easy, but like it's easy. I know what I'm doing. I've got my clients. I know how to do my everyday job. I've got my schedule. And then you think about changing positions and you're like, oh my gosh, what would happen then? Would I not be able to work from home? Would I not be able to travel on the 3 days a week that I want to travel? I think it's a combo of your comfort level and then your fear of change. Like you said,
I would
Corlin.
ask, is that a bad thing? Is staying someplace where you're comfortable, depending on what your end goal is it okay to stay someplace where you're comfortable and it's easy, so maybe you could focus on other things that bring you joy? Like, my job is my job and that's fine. I can focus my creativity and my passions and something else. Potentially, when I have the security of a job that pays the bills, I know what I'm doing.
It kind of goes back to your first comment of like, what's your goal? Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
Be real about it, because I think that people are not real. I think that when sometimes you have to ask some follow-up questions and then read between the lines. And sometimes just sit there. And when I ask someone a question, then they answer it. And you know how we learn, like, and then you just sit there and stare at them. And then and then the more they talk, the more you realize, no, that's smoke screen.
And Jessica, to your point, the reason that we're having this conversation, because somebody was having this conversation. And if everything was happy, rainbows and butterflies, you probably wouldn't have been an ear for somebody to listen, because they wouldn't have brought it up in the first place. So something's happening that they're uncomfortable, not happy, want to see some change.
Right. Right. And sometimes, maybe it's not even that anything is wrong, we talk about people, recruiters reaching out to you, Jamie, but even I had someone else that I was talking about that someone reached out to her and she's like, "No, I'm good. I enjoy my job. I'm doing really good. And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, I disagree with that. Let me challenge you. What would it have hurt for you to have that conversation? Like just hear them out, have that conversation because you never know." So I'm just afraid that there are people in our age group and our that are leadership or even individual contributors that are selling themselves short because they get too comfortable in whatever they're doing, and that opportunities may be coming to them and they're saying things like, "No, I'm good." And I'm just afraid that they're in this old school mentality of workers and loyalty, and we're missing out. And the world is changing, and that loyalty is not reciprocated. And we're going to learn the hard way if we don't change the way that we're looking at the world. That's really what I feel like it's boiling down to. And we can have a whole AI conversation, but it does kind of, weave in because it's just this mindset of, what's the saying? What got us here is not going to what got you here is not going to get you there. And so, what else do we have? So recruiters, whether recruiters are reaching out to you or someone says, "Hey, let's have a conversation," have the conversation.
Yeah.
It hurt.
I don't think it hurts either to embrace networking. I feel like we haven't talked about networking enough probably yet on this podcast, but as you're out there talking with your clients and your partners and everyone else, and they're recognizing your skills, I feel like networking is kind of a lost art a little bit. I know we couldn't do it very much when it was like COVID time when you couldn't see anybody, but it's like, if you can get out there, whether you have a recruiter or not, doesn't matter. If you can get out there in front of your customers and you can start talking about, "Hey, I'm at the top of my game with the company I'm with. Have you heard anything else? Have you heard about anybody that's looking for somebody that could utilize my skill set?" I think that's a little bit, I don't want to say it's a lost art because it's not, but I think it is a little bit underused right now. When was the last time you went to like a networking luncheon, or you went to a trade show where you were able to just walk around and talk to all the people? It's amazing.
Also, I would add that to that, Jamie, is like went to those things with you as that priority, not your company.
Oh,
correct. Absolutely. 100%. It's like, I'm going there to showcase myself.
Not drive up more business from the company you're already at.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you can do both at the same time, but you can do both.
That's another thing that gets me is that when people are so quote unquote loyal, that maybe they are there representing the company and they represent the company so much that they forget about themselves. We have an individual brand and we can't forget about that brand. Again, I had to learn the hard way. I am more loyal to the Smith family than I am the whatever the company name is. And that's, I think, that needs to be the foundation of that. Now, what are some signs what's signs that we've stayed too long? Like how does someone know, that they've stayed too long? When I think about that, I think about when you stop growing, when you stop learning, when you're constantly exhausted, when you dread Monday every week. It's like, when you have a bad attitude, that person that's like totally like always like Debbie Downer. It's like, dude, you need to find something else, because this like total bad, negative, like you're shrinking just to survive. Like, to me, those are all signs that you've stayed too long. What do you guys think?
the person that's complaining about the job to the new people that you're hiring. Have you ever had that happen?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
You bring in a new
That's like-
recruiter or a new employee, and we're not talking to Bob. Like you,
Yeah. Or no, yeah, don't talk to him. You don't send them
Yeah.
there. And it's like, yes, he's been there too long. But am I staying because I love it, or am I staying because of fear? That's I want people to like really stop there. Like going back to what you said, Corlin. Am I staying because I really love it, or am I staying because of fear?
The other thing with that is, as women, I feel that we have built within our role, especially if we've been at a company for a long time, we've built up our identity that our job is who we are. You to ask this question right out of the get-go, but we want to be needed, we want to be depended on, we want people to think that we're loyal. And sometimes leaving, it's not inherently just a career decision. It's really, now I've got to decide who I am outside of these four walls. And that's a big thing to unpack. If you're like, okay, if I've built up my whole life as Corlin, as this person for XYZ company, and now I move out of that, am I still the same person? Which you are, but it's asking, sometimes people think that they need to find a whole new me on top of that. And I don't think that that's the case either. Because when you leave, you're not, like you had said this before, Jessica, too. What it got me thinking is, like, people think that they have to start over from square one. Well, you're not starting from square one. You have exceptionally more experience than you did before. You're a new person. You've got new ambitions. You've got new goals. So you're probably starting from square 20 or 21 or whatever it is, not from square one. It's just, you've got to reframe it the right way.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that people need to hear that. Like, you are not behind, right? We've been talking about this. Yeah, like, you are not finished. You are not too old. You are not too late. In fact,
you're not a 50-year-old lady getting married for the third time.
Thank you. Thanks.
Corlin, you said something that talked about like the average person, like all these like fun facts about people in their 40s or 50s. It's like, just basically like the average person or the average millionaire is at this age. It's like, I think we really forget that we have so much wisdom at this point. We have resilience. We have
totally agree.
Like, scars to show that
and it goes back into what you're watching, because you can see this one-hit wonder of some girl that's 22 years old that just happened to make a viral video and now she's a billionaire. That's not the normal. The normal is the average woman starts their own business in their mid 40s, and millionaires are birthed in their 50s, and the big CEOs are usually 50, usually, not always, but if you are in the same boat, like, you are just coming into your prime. You haven't passed it. It's definitely not gone.
Yeah.
It's coming, and you just have to be ready.
Yeah.
I think this takes me back to our comparison episode a little bit, and the Am I Too Old episode, because I think
go listen to those.
they're both so good. But not to promote myself or ourselves or whatever, but they're so good.
You should.
I was thinking about as you said that, Corlin, you see let's say like a skincare reel, and it's like the girl in this reel is literally 20 years old, and you're promoting skincare for a 50-year-old. Like, of course your skin looks amazing, so it plays into a little bit with that comparison thing. But I think you're both so on point when you said we have so much tribal knowledge, experience. There are so many things that we have as like mid 40s or 50 or whatever, like just later in life. There's so many things you've learned, and you've learned them over the changes in the decades, right? So, I mean, in the 20 years ago, you had to sell this way. Now you sell this way. Now you manage this way. You used to manage that way. I just think that there's just so much tribal knowledge that those of us have. And I would almost encourage like any listeners or anybody who's thinking about changing careers, you know, later in their life, I guess I'll call it. I don't know, after, you know, maybe you've been working for 20 years and now you're changing careers. Don't like discount yourself. There's so much. I mean, when you look at a resume, that's a piece of paper, but the knowledge that you have of like, here's how I act with people, here's how I encounter people, here's what I do that's different than what your sales trainer is you're teaching you today, that actually works. I just think that there's a lot of knowledge, and I wouldn't want anybody to be afraid to change careers or to look at something new. I think that there's so much value in that tribal knowledge. So that's another little takeaway.
Yeah. I want people to do an assessment on their current situation. And, I always like I still to this day, and I've been doing this for years, like the pros and cons on the whiteboard or the piece of paper. And if you do that list and there are more cons in terms of, what you're doing now than pros, then you need to really think about what's next for you. So if this episode made you think of someone who's feeling stuck or trapped, burnt out, or afraid to take the next step, please share this with them and hopefully they'll get something out of it that they can take away. And maybe we'll start a series and take this to 2 or 3 more episodes, because I think that there's more that we can unpack in terms of, well, that all sounds great, but how exactly do they actually do that and get to the next step? But if you're listening and this is your story, then I just want you to know that you are not trapped, you are not finished, and your next chapter may be far better than the one that you are desperately trying to hold on to. So find us on all social media, Lead Like a Girl, LinkedIn. We're on YouTube, Lead Like a Girl, and share this video with someone you think would need it. Ladies, do you have any other takeaway here?
I would just say amen to that. I mean, and as a final thought, I mean, what if it wasn't that you were just scared that you would fail, but what if you never found out what you actually were capable of?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just never knew. That would be the ultimate sadness.
That's more scary.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. All right. Well, until next conversation, like I said, maybe we'll do a series on this, because it's coming up like all the time in my conversations. And it's just heartbreaking that I see that people are so stuck and they just don't have the confidence to it's what it's like. It's like a bad relationship, a dysfunctional relationship that you stay in just because you've been there forever and you don't want to start all over and start dating again. I don't know why that just came to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, if I don't wrap up now, I've already wrapped up twice, and we're